Hello and welcome back to Developer's Diary. In the previous tutorial, we have learned how to consume external API. Today, we are going to create get and put API in ORDS using Oracle Apex. Then we shall consume these APIs into our Oracle Apex project. So let's start. Go to your Apex workspace, then click on SQL Workshop and then go to the RESTful services. So the first of all, you have to register your current schema with ORDS, Oracle RESTful Data Services. So you can give your name, for example, developers diary. Enable this RESTful access and check the sample services. Then click Save Schema Attributes. Now you can see the dashboard. It says enabled and schema alias developer's diary. So to create a get RESTful service, first of all, we need to create module. So in which we have module, then template, and then handlers. So first of all, let's create module. In the module, you tell that uh, about the REST APIs. You can use a specific name for specific to your module. For example, if we have employees module, then we shall use the employee here. Then we add to base path, for example, employee info, and we have to pass the backslashes in this way. Click create module. So your module is created. The next step is to create the template. So click create template and here you define the URI template. Get all employees info. So currently I want to use this URI to get all the employees. So click create template. Then we have to create handler to write our SQL query. So you have here multiple methods: get, post, put, and delete. Today we are going to use get and put. So source type we shall use the collection query for bulk data and collection query item for a single data, and you can use PLSQL and media source as well. So the format that will we get as a response will be JSON. So here we have to write the query. Select all from employee table. So currently is our employee table. Then create handler. So this is our actual full URL to get all the information from this table. So you can copy this and you can paste in into the browser. So there's as per result, we are getting the employee ID, name, email, title, department, and manager ID as well. So thus you can use the get API to get all the information. You can also create a template to get a specific employee. Here we have template to get all. Now we want to get only a specific employee. So for doing that, we can use get one backslash and emp ID. It means this is a variable that will pass to the SQL query and the handler, and we can use this to get the specific employee. So click create. Now we shall create handler, and this will also a get. Select all from employees where employee ID is equal to the emp ID, which is the bind variable, and here we have the employee ID. Click create handler. Copy this URL and now paste here, and this time provide the specific employee ID. So you can see that we are getting the information of this employee ID with 3 employee ID. Now we are going to create another API for the update the employee. So click create, and this time we can use update and backslash and then provide emp ID. Create template. Now create handler. Now I'm going to use the query here. I shall provide this code into the video link in the description. So here we have to pass the emp ID. And another thing that we have to do here, we have to add a bind variable parameter row for the put. So for that, we add a row and provide the name of the column that will be sign the value of the binding variable. Then we shall provide, and in the source we are using the URI. So create handler. So this is the API that we are going to use. So first we are going to use the Postman for verifying this API, which is the put API. For example, we are going to add employee 3 here, and the name is Nadia Farouk, and we want to change it to Nadia Ahmed. One thing that we have to pass through headers is the content type and accept. So let's pass method is not allowed. So let's check it. We have done a mistake. Instead of using the put, we have used the get. That's why we are getting the error. So we shall delete this and create a new handler with the method put. So we have created a new template and new handler, which is put handler, and we are passing the same query that I have already pick here. So here we are getting the employee table, and in case of an exception, we are passing this exception as a, and then we have bind the variable with this where clause. Now we can change the email and send. So the output is 200, which is okay. Now we go to the browser and get the information. So you can see that the name is changed and email also changed. So we have created three APIs here: get all, get one, and update employee, which is four. So apply changes, and then we shall go to the app builder to consume these APIs. So click on rest. We have created this application in the previous tutorial. So we are going to use this. So create another REST data source. Let's create a new one for get all employees. So the first one is to get all employees. Get all employees and provide the URL path. Click next. You can see that the base URL and the service URL path automatically separated. Then click next. Currently we are going by default options and discover the API. So this is the data that we shall get into our REST API. So this is the data source that we are going to use in our application. So click create. This time we are going to create interactive report, and then we shall write get all employees API, and then we shall use the REST source and use the get all employees source. Click create page. And run the application. So you can see that all the information is shown here. Now we have to create a form using blank page because we are getting the information from API, not from source table. So we have to call the API to assign the values for a specific employee into the specific page items. So get employee info, click create. Here we shall create a region which is employee info. Then we have to create the following information: employee ID, name, email, and title. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 columns. We have to create it. So we have created 6 columns, and then we have to provide the name to these columns. Employee ID. Then we have name. Then we have email. After that, we have title. Department. So before after header, we have to get the employee ID and then call this get one API and set the information into the page items. So we are going to create a process, get employee info, and here we are going to use this method. I shall provide the script, the whole script into the video description. So what we are doing here, we are get calling the API, this one, with the method get and with the employee ID. So the current employee ID is P5 employee ID. So you can see the response here. In the response, we have items array. So we have to get the employee ID by using item and the first array attribute and its values. So in the array, items array, we are getting the first element and then the attributes of that element. And we are passing the values in the name, email, title, department, and manager ID. So click OK. First of all, validate and click OK. Click save. Now we shall go to our interactive report. Go to the attributes and link to the custom target. Here we have to define the target page. Then we have to assign the values, which is the employee ID. And from here, we have to provide the employee ID and click OK. Click Save. And one thing that we have to pass is through edit icon. Now refresh the report. Now click on employee. So you can see that the employee information is showing here. If you go back and select any other employee, so you can see the information. So before going to this page, the report, the edit icon of the report setting this employee ID, and before header, this process executes and get all the information of the specific employee and place into the variables. So let's create a button here, which will be the submit button, and we are going to create a process here to update the employee information. So for that, we are going to use this script. For that, we are going to pass 5. The API is this one that we are going to use here. So what we are doing here, actually the manager ID is a number field. So if it is null, then pass the null. Otherwise, we are converting into the character and assigning here. After that, we are using the employee name, email, title that we have used in our query. So these are the bind variable that we have used in our put API. So we are assigning the values to them here, and we are getting from values from the page items, and then using apex escape and creating a JSON string. And this is the bot assigning the values into a body variable, which is the global. And then we are setting the headers. These are mandatory, content type, and accept, and we are sending the values. And then we are calling the update API and passing the employee ID and passing the body as well. Validate the query, verify we have passing the exact page item. Click OK, click Save, and get employees. Then go to the Bilal Ahmed, change it to Bilal Ali, and submit the page. So you can see that the information has been changed. One thing we can also do here, after processing, we have to create a branch. to get back, and we want to get back to page number 3. So we choose the target page as 3 and click OK. Click Save. Now refresh the page, or you can say Usman Tariq, Usman Shahid, SHID, you can say IT manager and IT department. Click Submit. So you can see that the Usman Shahid and email as well changed. The title and the department is also changed. So I hope you have learned something useful at Developers Diary related to GET and POST API. In the future, we are going to use POST and delete API as well. I hope you have learned something useful. See you in the next tutorial.